There are moments when the problem in front of you feels bigger than you, stronger, more prepared, more likely to win, and everyone else seems to agree that's where he was. You know that feeling when you walk into something and immediately feel small, not physically, internally, like you don't belong there, like everyone else is more prepared, more capable, more ready than you. And you start to wonder, why am I even here? That's where he is. Not a soldier, not trained, not experienced in war. Just a young man sent to deliver food. A simple task, nothing important, nothing significant, just showing up. But when he arrives, he sees something. A battlefield, two sides, standing across from each other. Waiting, but not moving, because in the middle there's a man, a giant, Goliath, massive, confident, armor. Every detail about him screams power, control, dominance. He steps forward and speaks, not quietly, not respectfully, but boldly, mocking, challenging, daring anyone to fight him. Choose a man, send him to me. And no one moves, not the strongest, not the most trained, not the king. Everyone stands still, because sometimes fear doesn't look like panic. It looks like silence, like hesitation, like waiting for someone else to step forward. David watches, confused, because to him this doesn't make sense. Why is no one doing anything? He asks questions, simple ones. What happens if someone fights him? But the answers don't change anything. No one steps forward because everyone sees the same thing. The giant, too big, too strong, too dangerous, and maybe you've been there, looking at something in your life that feels overwhelming. And everyone around you seems to confirm it. It's too much. It's too risky, it's not for you. And slowly you start to believe it. David hears the fear, but he doesn't absorb it. Because he's seeing something different. Not just the giant, but what the giant represents, and that changes everything. He says, "I'll go," not loudly, not dramatically, just decision. And suddenly everyone notices. Because confidence in a moment of fear stands out. They take him to the king. Saul looks at him and immediately rejects the idea. You can't. You're too young. You're not experienced. He's been fighting his whole life. In other words, you don't match up. And maybe you've heard that. Directly or indirectly. You're not ready. You don't have what it takes. Someone else should do this, but David responds, not defensively, not emotionally, with clarity. I've faced lions. I've faced bears. I protected what was mine. And what he's really saying is this: you're looking at what I lack, I am looking at what I've been through. Because experience doesn't always look like qualifications. Sometimes it looks like survival. Saul offers him armor, protection, security, something that makes sense. David tries it, but it doesn't fit. It's heavy, unnatural, not him, so he takes it off. Because sometimes what works for others won't work for you, and trying to become someone else only slows you down. He walks forward, no armor, no sword, just a sling. And 5 stone, simple, almost unimpressive. And Goliath sees him, laughs. Because from the outside this looks ridiculous. Am I a dog? That you come at me with sticks, mocking, dismissing. Because when people underestimate you, they reveal what they believe. David doesn't react, doesn't argue, doesn't defend himself. He just speaks. You come to me with sword, with spear, with strength, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. That's the difference. Not size, not strength, perspective. because everyone else saw the giant. David saw something greater, and that changed everything. The moment begins. Goliath moves forward, heavy, confident. Certain, David runs, not away, forward, no hesitation, no second guessing, just movement, because once you decide, you don't wait. He takes a stone, places it in the sling, releases, and in a single moment everything shifts. The giant falls, not slowly, not dramatically, immediately. Silence, shock. Because what seemed impossible just happened. And in that moment, everyone realizes something. The problem was never the giant. It was how they saw it. Because the same giant that made others freeze made David act. The same situation, different perspective, different outcome. And maybe that's what speaks to you. Because sometimes the thing in front of you feels too big, too strong, too much, and everything around you confirms it. But what if the problem isn't the size of it? What if it's how you're seeing it? Because when you focus only on the giant, you feel small. But when you shift your perspective, everything changes. David wasn't the strongest, wasn't the most prepared, wasn't the obvious choice. But he understood something others didn't, and that made all the difference. So the next time you feel small, remember this moment. You don't have to match the giant. You just need to see what others don't. Because sometimes what looks like a disadvantage is exactly what makes you win.